Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Talking with a Soul. I'm your host, as always, Lucas Volker, the Gen Z Ginger, in case you haven't forgot. Um, I know it's been a while since my last episode I did with Ryan regarding the Little Debbie Snack Cake Tournament. That turned out to be really good. And it's pretty entertaining, too. We also got pretty sick over some sugar intake that episode, but it was a lot of fun. And Ryan's such a blessing. He is one of the best people that I know on this entire planet, and I'm just grateful to have him in my life. Also, it was his 30th birthday recently, so wish him a happy birthday if you haven't already. Great guy. I love him to death. Anyway, this episode is going to be very important to me, and I hope it reaches out to a bigger audience. I really, really do hope it does, because this month, being June, is also Men's Mental Health Month, and I would like to personally um, share my stories, the experiences I've had, um, because I myself can relate to this topic. I'm a big advocate for mental health, and I, like I said, I feel for this subject. I really do, and I want to stress the importance of mental health too. I'm not an expert, however, I know that we as men have a hard time opening up about our emotions and feelings. So I just want to make it clear that I'm not a professional. I'm not saying follow my advice, but I do want to reach out to those who just can't. So without further ado, I'd like to give some background. I am 28 years old now, or have been, I think, since I started podcasting, I'm pretty sure. Um, and I'm not going to sit here and say like I've had more rough than anybody in the world. I know I'm not perfect. I know I don't have the greatest lifestyle either, but I have been through and seen some shit in my life that I feel like it's appropriate to share with the platform that I have available. Um, I think this is a good use of my time and good use of my voice. Um, Now, I had on my personal Facebook, I had made a post regarding Men's Mental Health Month and my experience with IOP, or for those of you who don't know what IOP means, it is Intensive Outpatient Program. Um, we can start with that. I do want to share um, some interesting statistics or facts with you guys in regards to Men's Mental Health Month. This was from I don't know how reliable this source is. It was a picture that popped up on a mental health page that I found through a friend of mine, saying June is Men's Mental Health Month, and it says 3 times as many men as women die by suicide. Men are wrongly taught at a young age expressing emotion is weak. Men aged 40 to 49 have the highest suicide rates. Men report lower levels of life satisfaction than women. Men are less likely to seek medical help than women. 525,000 men every year, 10,096 men per week, 1,442 men every day, 60 men every hour, and 1 man every 60 seconds die by suicide. So, enough with the masculinity bullshit. Don't man up, just speak up. Okay. It's easier said than done, I know. But I'm going to show you and tell you with the experiences I've had that speaking up is very important. And seeing help, talking to someone, doing things to get your mind off of the dark places that you're in is going to help you in the long run. And it certainly helped me as well. Um, there are some pros and cons. I'm going to tell you, actually, um, why that is. So to start, um, back in 2022, I had This was my first year at my new job. Also, before I start too, this is not a contest about whose mental health should be a bigger priority than the others. Not just men has struggled with mental health; it is also women or anyone else who identifies as a different gender or sex, whatever. Not going to get into that. This is a this is to spread awareness and to help others speak up about their problems and their struggles so that they may seek help, so that they can be inspired to use their voice and their platform that they have to raise awareness and empower men and influence them to not be afraid and not shadow or hide their emotions and their feelings, because we do matter. We fucking matter. We are here on this planet to fulfill something. We are here to serve a purpose, and you guys aren't alone. You're never alone. So, with that being said, now I can share my experience with therapy, depression, mental health struggles. Back in 2022 was my first year starting at my current job at US Paint. Um, it was also the first time I had ever done the 75 Hard Challenge made by Andy Frisella with First Form. Um, so anyway, I started that challenge. I lost a lot of weight. I gained a lot of confidence, mental focus. I grew physically and mentally and emotionally stronger. I got better with my time management. It tested a lot of things that I didn't think I was capable of doing. I successfully completed the challenge, and it was something I was very, very proud of. And I take a lot of pride in it. I think if you're willing to go the distance and willing to challenge yourself, per se, it's worth it. However, it's in the name. It's very hard, and it will put you to the test. So if you can't finish it, it's not a big deal. At least you can say you tried. So when I got through this challenge and thought, okay, let's see where this goes after the challenge. Maybe I can keep up with a steady routine, lose some more weight, take some progress pictures. I was drinking a gallon of water every single day. I was even reading some books, like here and there afterwards. I did, however, eat a lot of cheat meals. I was eating piss poor afterwards, as you should, as a reward for myself. Um, but I also need to learn how to reward myself in better ways. Anyway, about a month, roughly a month after I had finished 75 Hard, I we can say that I hit a wall. I was at an all-time low with my mental health. I had thoughts of unaliving myself, of thinking that I didn't serve a purpose at all on this earth anymore. I I didn't know who I was. I was struggling to figure out just what kind of person I wanted to be. I was thinking about, okay, well, what's the point of coming to work every day? What's the point of doing my job? What's the point of paying rent at my apartment? What's the point of doing this week to week bullshit, month to month, year to year, all these things just to be mediocre, to be just okay. And it was like a whole week or two straight that I was just very, very nonverbal at work and just with everybody around me. Um, I I had a hard time opening up about how I felt. I had a hard time speaking to people about how my day was. Like, hey, do you have a good day? And the likeliness of me saying, oh, it's pretty good, was very likely. Um, Now, was I being honest with myself? God, no. I did not like who I was. I did not like being in the position that I was. So it was, forget exactly what day it was, but I know I came into work and I immediately went on my office computer and started looking up, like, on the internet, just random things like, why am I feeling these things? Why am I having these thoughts of suicide and depression, and trying to get some answers as to, like, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through these things? I needed something, okay? Because I wasn't there was no way in hell that I was going to keep working like I was, or moving on with how I was. My boss at the time came in and noticed I looked like shit, and he said, "You okay? Is there something you want to talk about?" And I said, "No." And I started breaking down crying, and I was like, "I don't want to be here. I don't know what's going on with me. I can't explain what's going through my head, but it's not good, and I need a break. I need to talk to somebody." So we went up to uh, the HR office, talked to our head of HR, and she said, "Well, we're going to put you on um, short-term disability, and don't worry about work. Just focus on you and getting better for you." And that was the first time I had ever heard any employer tell me, like, "Hey, you need to work on you. You need to focus on you, get better for you. Don't worry about this place." First time I had heard that in a long time, probably ever. Um, it was relieving, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I'm going to be away from work, so I'm not going to be as busy. So how am I going to cope with that? How am I going to settle in and fix my problems? So they scheduled me with a therapist through our work at H&H. I'm not going to disclose her name because I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Um, anyway, she was really good at her job. She was very helpful. She even introduced me to the show on Apple TV called Ted Lasso. Those of you who haven't watched Ted Lasso or have heard of Ted Lasso, highly recommend maybe just getting a free trial or whatever of Apple TV and watching it. Ted Lasso is a show that will change your life, change your perspective on things, and it's funny, it's dramatic, it's got everything. It's an amazing show. Highly recommend it. Besides the point, the there was one day where I came in and nothing was really getting better. I was having a hard time talking about how I was feeling, and she had recommended IOP, which was, as I explained earlier, intensive outpatient program, which basically sends you to group therapy, um, and they'll assign you with an individual therapist as well to talk to during your time in group therapy. It's a lot of different doctors that you're going to see, but I was later admitted into the emergency room to get an IOP exam. So I had to turn in all my belongings, wear the gown, wear the grippy socks, and everything. And I I looked around and I realized, like, this is a low. This is not where I want to be. But to take the steps to get better, I had to do what I had to do. So the IOP exam was a lot of questions about, like, how long I've been feeling the way I've been feeling, um, where I work, all kinds of basic questions. They kind of did some analysis of your thought process and what I talked about in individual therapy and several different other things that I don't want to bore you with. But long story short, I got into IOP later on, and they said, "Okay, you're gonna have these appointments on these set days, and you're going to see therapists in that group. And basically, you sit in a circle or whatever shape of fucking gathering you want to have, and uh, you're going to learn a lot of ways to cope with depression and anxiety or whatever it is that you're going through. It is not just for people going through mental health struggles, it's for people that are dealing with separation, divorce, marriage, um, family life, anything that is making you feel the way you're feeling. And um, I remember my first day like it was yesterday. I was very quiet. I was shy. I was anxious. I was scared. I was very scared, very nervous. And I remember going into that room and immediately just like straight line to a seat, put my head down, shut up, don't do anything. Because I had no idea what was going to become of this. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think like I didn't know where I was gonna go after this. I didn't know if I would fit in at all. I didn't know if like anyone would laugh at me because of my problems are probably as minuscule to theirs. Um, I didn't know how to respond to it or react to it. So people started piling in, and um, our therapist, her name was Carrie. I'm gonna disclose that name because Carrie's gonna be very important to the story. Um, Carrie is a wonderful human being. She was a great therapist. Um, she opened up to me because I was new to the group, and we also had there were new people coming in. It seemed like every other session that I was in, and I started realizing like as we went around the room to talk about like how people were talking about and coping with their anxiety or depression or their emotions. There were packets and paper. There was paperwork handed out about different ways you can kind of not cheat your way around it, but to face your problems head on. And I don't know where any of that stuff is in my room. I've tried looking before I started recording this episode to give a better idea to you guys on what I'm exactly talking about. Sadly, I don't have that stuff on me. I'm so sorry. Wish I could be more help. Um, but as I'm sitting there and people are going around talking about their problems, and I'm not going to spread any of the information that they shared because of HIPAA. Um, and that's also, it's not really my business to share with you guys. But I will say that there were some people going through really hard times, and it opened my eyes and it made me realize like, okay, I can talk about my feelings. I can share how I'm feeling and not feel embarrassed about it. I can say what's on my mind. And I I felt safe, I felt comfortable, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I could say something to people or to someone and they can understand. They can put themselves in my shoes and they can relate. You know. So as time went on, and through each session, I was learning a lot about ways to handle depression. Um, one of those ways being was to be mindful of others and to realize that hey, you're not the only one going through these things. There are multiple people out there that are struggling with something just as much as you are. So, gentlemen, let that be a note that no matter it is what you're going through, there is someone else going through something too. So, take a step back, realize that this is okay. This is what other people can go through. And it took me a while to embrace that and feel that and get it into my head and say, hey, like, it's not just you. There are other people that are suffering. And there's a woman who was in that class. Her name is Darcy, and I'm still friends with her to this day. So, Darcy, if you're watching or listening, I love you. You matter, and you're an amazing person. You're one of the strongest people in this entire world, universe, even. Um, and you have made a huge difference in my life, and you are still making a difference to everyone's life, and you make an impact in the community with what you do. You're very brave, self-centered, not self-centered, not uh, selfless. That's what I meant. Selfless, very selfless, and I love you. You are an amazing human being, and I want you to keep going. No matter what curveballs life throws at you, you're going to come out on top, and you're incredible. So thank you for everything you've done, Darcy, and thank you for everything that you continue to do. Um, the other people that were in that class, they had a lot of struggles as well. And like I said, there are different things that they were going through, and I didn't quite fully understand the true details, but it's probably because of how they open themselves up, and that's okay. Not everybody is comfortable with sharing how they feel, and that is also okay. But the important thing that I want to stress is that it is totally okay to open up and talk about your feelings, no matter who it is. I would advise maybe seeing a professional first, or a very close friend of yours, and sit down and talk with somebody. Say, hey, this is how I've been feeling. I want you to know how I've been feeling. Help me out. And can you help me out? Can you listen for a minute? Can you be an ear to listen? Can you be a shoulder I can cry on? Make sure you have those people in your life, because that can help you so much. Um, One of the things I was struggling with was friendships and maintaining those friendships, trying to realize like who's really there for me. And I had opened up in therapy about, you know, I don't know if my brother is going to be okay. I don't know if my friends are going to be okay. I worry about people a lot. I worry about my family. And I had this thought of like, okay, what are they going to do without me? What's life going to be like if I'm not here? And I had these thoughts of like, oh, they're always talking shit on me. They don't really like me. They don't value me as a person or my presence at all. They can't wait until I leave. Uh, it was a really really bad time, and I think about it from time to time, like who are my real friends, and you're going to experience that. As my individual therapist, told me, she said, "Well, it sounds like you're having a midlife crisis." So this was 3 years ago. I was 25. Yeah, not midlife crisis, but a quarterly life crisis. And she was completely accurate. I was going through some shit. Um, Now, I was bawling my eyes out, and I went full 100%, just like raw, just poured everything out at once. And I felt riveting, and it felt good. It felt like I had finally just hit that breaking point, and I finally felt comfortable enough to release everything and to vent that out. And because someone was listening and other people were listening that actually cared. Because as a man, you feel like when you open up to someone, they're just saying, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And then maybe look at their phone a few times. That's not okay. I don't feel okay with talking to you if you're just gonna nod your head and act like you agree. Okay. I want someone who has time to listen and to hear me out, because my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, my well being fucking matters. I can't stress that enough. I may be a man. You may look at me and think like, oh, he can handle it on his own. You know what? Fucking sometimes I can't. I'm an adult. I'm going through some shit. I'm paying my rent. I'm paying bills, as are we all, most of us at least. I'm having a hard time. I can't fucking do it sometimes. I need help. I need someone I can talk to. And there's some people out there that don't give a single shit about your problems. It's frustrating. And I'm here to tell you that I've struggled with opening up to people. I've struggled with telling the truth about how I felt. That's the truth. I think sometimes people don't give a shit about me. I've come to realize that that's okay. Because not everybody that you care about is going to give a single shit about you. And that's when you need to realize, okay, time to move on. Now, you may hold an attachment to that person for some weird reason. To save you from the mental struggle, let it go. As I talked about in my third episode about burning bridges with people, let them go. You are better off leaving those people behind, not holding a grudge, and moving on with your life. You are so much better than that. It is not worth the mental strain. It's not worth the sleepless nights. It's not worth the eating yourself to death. It's not worth anything. You're strong. You're important. Remember that. Sorry, I need to take a deep breath. I'm just full of like emotion right now because it's very important to me. Like I said, back to the IOP. I realized, as it came to um, as the amount of sessions I had left came to a close, I I realized that I need to form an action plan. And we talked about action plans in therapy a lot and it basically talked about like, okay, you found a problem, take a step back, analyze the problem, and rather than avoiding the problem completely, take action. Face your problem head on. Because that is the only way you are going to ever move forward in life. You can't just avoid everything forever. It's gonna pop up every now and then, and you're gonna feel stuck sometimes. But the best thing you can do is to move forward and face the problem head on. If you have questions, if you need help, ask. If you have a loving, caring group of people and support system around you, ask them for advice, ask them for help. Do not be afraid. Don't hold back. You have a voice and you matter and you're important. I can't say that enough. You are important to this world and to society. You matter. You have a fucking purpose. Please don't ever feel like you're bothering anyone or that you mean less than someone else. Just because the person next to you is having a tougher time doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid. Sorry. You have reason to be here. You're not alone. Okay. So I had like an epiphany and I just realized that, hey, with these problems that I have, I'm going to create an action plan. I'm going to figure out what I can do to meet in the middle, what I can do to express myself better, express my my feelings, my current emotions, what I felt in the past, what I think I can feel in the future. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to be a strong, powered human being and talk about how I feel. Now, gentlemen, whether you like it or not, whether you think suppressing your emotions and shadowing everything and just going nonverbal, whether you think that's a good idea or not, it's not a good idea. You need to open up. You need to show that you're a strong person. The strongest way that you can tell that you're not fine is by admitting that you're not fine. And that's okay. It is okay to not be okay. None of us are perfect, okay? But it's it's just a matter of time to where you can be yourself and open up and release your emotions, release that pent up anger and rage and sadness, whatever you're feeling. You need to release that at some point because it's unhealthy to just hold it in your whole life. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy with yourself and later down the line. I want to share a quote with you guys from one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite anime, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just found it today actually, and I shared it on my podcast page on uh, Instagram and Facebook. It is a quote from Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we all know this guy is full of wisdom and experience, as are most elder people. But the quote goes, "Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place." And I found that today, and it hit me like a truck because it was so relatable, and I felt exactly how I felt 3 years ago. No matter how hard you are going to have it at life, no matter how dark your world may seem, no matter how many punches get thrown at you, there's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to find something great. So as I finished IOP and I was released, and I felt so much better about myself, I grew confidence again. I felt ready to work, and I felt ready to accomplish things. I felt that no matter what gets in my way, I was able to face the problem head on, and I remembered who I am. I remembered the joyful Lucas who has a reason to be here, has a reason to live, and has a reason to make friends and enjoy life to the fullest. Now, I'm proud to still be here, and I have my rough days. I have my really good days. Life is a roller coaster, man, but I'm thankful to be here for the ride. I'm thankful to have the friends that I have. I'm thankful to experience intensive outpatient therapy and the whole program. I'm thankful for the people that I met and whose stories I learned. Um, it was a great journey. However, this is where it gets interesting. The bill that I got from not only intensive outpatient therapy sessions, but the emergency room was astronomical. Even with insurance, I had to pay $5,000 for pretty much each appointment and then the emergency room visit. So that put a damper on my financial situation. It didn't help my mental health for a while because I was struggling. I'm like, oh, I got to pay this back by this due date. And I had like no help whatsoever. I was doing it all on my own. So at the same time, like it bettered my mental health, but it also didn't help. It's like stressed me out. But in the end, to sum up everything, yes, it is worth seeing someone for help. Your life is important. Okay. Don't ever think that you're less than somebody else because we're all on this planet to achieve a great life. We're here to do something that matters. And whether you feel like you don't matter or not, you matter. And you're here for a reason. Love yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your brain, your heart, and don't forget to love yourself. Okay? I know that sounds cheesy as hell, but it's not. It fucking matters. And I needed to share this with you guys because it just is important. Mental health it gets overlooked a lot, especially men's mental health. I can't stress enough like how alone that not only me but other males feel. We get depressed, we get sad, we get angry, and we hide it a lot. We hide it really well, actually. And I hope that what I've said now can be inspiration to open yourself up and get the help that you need. Get the help that you have from your friends and from your support system. You can do it. You can make it. We are going to be okay. Relax, take a step back, analyze your situation, and take action. Okay. I don't want anyone to go 6 feet under anymore because of mental health. I really, really can't stress enough that you matter. One day, someone's not going to be here anymore, and it's going to be too little, too late for us to think that, oh, I could have, if I had listened to his story a little bit better, I could have saved him. If you've lost someone to suicide or mental health struggles, I'm very sorry. I feel you. I've lost some people myself. I thought I lost myself along the process, but I was fortunate enough to speak up and seek help. So don't man up, speak up. I love you all, and I love the life that I live. I'm very fortunate to be here and have the people around me. Um, Again, men's mental health is so crucial to general health studies and above anything else. I, my brothers, my my friends, my male companions, you matter. You are worth it. You are important, and I hope that you're okay. I would love to sit down, reach out, and talk with people about these things because, like I said, I'm an advocate, and um, I want to be able to share my story with others. So that's why I made this episode. Um, I am no professional, like I said earlier. I am just here to share my story, and I hope it reaches to you guys because I uh, I want it to matter. And I want to make sure you guys know that you matter as well. Um, in addition, I don't think there's. Maybe I don't have an addition to anything. So sorry. I love you all again, and I hope this finds you well. I hope again that this inspires others to speak up about their problems, about their mental health issues, and that they can seek help. Um, like I'm always a person to be able to reach out to. I can be an ear to listen to, and um, I just love life, man. I love being here. I love the people that I'm around with because it's worth it. Life is so much worth it, dude. I can't I can't stress that enough. And with everything going on in the world, the way people are hatred are shoving hatred down others' throats, we need kindness. We need people to show some understanding, show some humility, and realize that okay, they're going through a lot right now. We need to listen. We need to help with their problems. Let's help others. That's how you can make the world a better place, is just help others. Ask how your friends are doing. Tell people that you love them. It matters. Um, I'm going to close out with a very important detail. Um, the sorry, I don't have. For some reason, I don't have the suicide hotline memorized in my head. Um, Jesus, where is it? The hell? I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. I literally just talked about how I should avoid my phone. Um, sorry. Very awkward silence. It's just giving me the 988 number. Anyway, the I will post a link. How about this? I will post a link in the description of these videos to Suicide Hotline. Please don't hesitate to call or ask for help. You matter, you're important, and you're loved, and you're going to make the world a better place. It's better with you in it anyway. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate reaching out. I appreciate any comments, likes, subscriptions, uh, rates on Spotify, anything. It helps. Share this video so you can help someone out. And yeah, reach out to people and be kind. Thank you so much. I love you all. Have a great day. Have a great life. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.